Let's just go to our manual, and there's just a couple of things that I want to say about systems theory, and then I'm going to put you in groups and give you some topics to research, and then you guys can give us some feedback. So I want you to page 31 in your manual. So you've got that? Is it 31? Your 31, mine, and yours the same? 31, right. I just want to show you quickly before we continue what are we going to look at in this learning unit. So you can see there we're going to do organizational theory, page 31, and a little bit about systems on page 32. So that's like one section, so that you know what's coming. Then on the next page, page 33, we're going to look at behavior models. I'll probably do that with you only next week because you guys want to know about your tests and so on, so we will discuss your tests on Thursday. We're not going to do it today. Do I see you on Thursday? Well, I'm here prepared to work until 6 o'clock if you want to get all of that. You're welcome to do that. Okay? Communication models. So that's another section. Then on the next page, page 34, we're going to talk about persuasion and change. Stay with me. Persuasion and change. And then, as you can see on the right-hand side, we're going to look at different management theories, scientific management theory, bureaucratic theory, and so on. Right. So let's just, a couple of things I want to show you there. Systems theory. We did it in our textbooks already on page 118 and 119. So just one or two concepts that I want us to look at there. Bottom of page 31. In your manual, systems theory is a holistic theory, which means that as an underlying principle, it embraces both the internal and external publics. The underlying principle of systems theory, that it embraces internal and external publics. Not so? You happy with that point? Yeah. Everyone? It embraces, it basically means it includes your internal and external publics. Okay? Then it is important that you guys are able to link the organization theory, which is basically systems theory, to your organization structure. In other words, you need to explain this. You need to be able to explain this, that this is a system, and it consists of subsystems, and that is part of your organization structure, your organigram. Okay? And that communication plays a vital role in the system. You with me? The back there? Right? So you need to be able to explain that. Right. Now, question. On the next page on top there, an important concept of systems theory, look at that, is that a system, that's why I said we want to come back to that, is that system is open to change from the outside environment. A system is open to change. What do we mean there? You've explained it earlier, but I want us to just debate that a bit further. Is open to change. What are the things out here that influences the system? What are the things in the environment out there that influence the system? Yeah. Just hang on.
Things like media. Wouldn't media also affect the way the business...
Okay, but I gave you an acronym.
PESTLE.
PESTLE. Not so. PESTLE stands for Politics, Environmental, Social,
Legislature.
PESTLE, sorry. T for technology. Yeah.
L for legal.
L for legal. And economy. Ooh, my writing, eh? All of this, does this influence the organization and the subsystem every now and then, or constantly? Constantly. Okay, now what happens with this word constantly? Does it remain the same all the time? No. It's ever what? Changing. It's ever changing. The only thing that is constant is the change of that, not so. Okay? Should a organization, this is the point they're making there, should an organization allow these influences in their organizations?
It depends if it's positive or negative.
Okay? Explain.
Well, if it has a positive influence on the system, then obviously they should allow it in. But if it's going to cause disruption in the system, then they should try and control how much.
So I'm the CEO of this organization, and I create a boundary there and say nothing is going to influence me.
You won't say nothing, obviously, because that's a closed system and that's not healthy. But you should have an open system, but you shouldn't allow things to change your system negatively. You should try to have as much control over it as you can.
So you try equilibrium, try to have balance. But that sounds like a perfect world.
Yeah.
Is that a perfect world? Does it happen?
It doesn't happen, but it would be nice if it did.
It does. But it's not happening, eh? So, is this equilibrium, is it going...
I'm just saying what is desirable.
What is desirable? Okay, but you can, yeah.
I think it's not, they can't control those environments that are, the organization is a subsystem of those environments, so it can't really control them. But what it can do is strategically plan to react to whatever happens within those other environments, so that they can take whatever situation happens they can work around it as an organization. For example, the example we're using now is the recession or whatever.
Yeah.
Then they must think about how they can work around it to help their organizational system function.
I think you're right. The idea is equilibrium, not so. But we must remember that does not exist. You'll see some other theories now that says, because systems theory says that the organization should be an open system and should allow that, but organizations still try to do this, but it becomes ever so more difficult to do that. So we should actually take our hat off to these CEOs and these guys that are still managing these organizations, and they're making money and they're paying taxes, etc., etc. Because there are lots of these things that we have got no control about, eh? And that for us that work in organizations here, we have to take note of all these things that are happening all the time. So what do we call this when we do our strategic planning? Remember the words that we used, yeah, when we do this?
When you're coming up with your mission.
Yeah, but the process, what is the process called? What do we call that process? SWOT. You do a SWOT analysis, internal and external. You can do, you can take all of this and you do environmental scanning, not so? You do environmental scanning. You can even make predictions in the future. Try to make some predictions on what's going to happen. Okay, look at that sentence there. It says, however, the system is at the same striving for equilibrium balance between the degrees of how open the system or how closed the system is. So management can decide to a degree for how open and how close that system is. Now come on, I gave you one nice little example of if you could look at an organization, how do you know whether it's an open or closed organization in broad terms? If it's functioning or not, yeah?
Closed systems don't usually work.
Closed systems usually don't work, not in our organization. But if I look at an organization, what is this one thing that I can look at an organization to know? Can I give you a key? Clue. When I look at structures, I use two words in the structures of the organization. Your organigram. Tall or flat. Nice one. So the tall one is what? The tall one is the narrow one.
There's a lot of
Levels of management, which means it's very authoritative, very structured, very organized, while an open system is a more flat structure. Eh? Okay, you happy with that? Maybe right there, open and closed system, e.g. tall and flat structures, just in your notes, just to remind you. Okay, just that last paragraph, and then I'm going to put you to work. You as a student, I'm so glad when they say things like that, should be aware that systems theory is one theory that relates to organization theory. As indicated, the theory promotes the idea of equilibrium of a desired state. We spoke about that. There are other theories, although not covered in the scope of this course, that says the opposite, like chaos theory and complexity theory. I googled that and I'll show you next time exactly what we mean with those theories, or do you know? Okay. To name a few that argue the opposite of systems theory in terms of equilibrium as a desired state. And I think they may have a point. See what they say. You need to know that other theories on organizational functioning do not share this view because they argue that the world, in a world where there's constant change, okay, become the norm, so that constant change is the norm, equilibrium will never be achieved. And that we are able to adapt quickly to, and that those that are able to adapt quickly to new circumstances are the ones that are actually sustaining themselves. And maybe they have a point. Some other theories that says that that nice equilibrium, that nice easygoing world that we're thinking about is actually not there, and it's not going to happen, and that those that actually adapt quickly to all these different circumstances, they actually do much better. You agree?
Yes.
Okay. So I think that paragraph is quite important. So there are quite a number of things that can come out of that paragraph in terms of questions. When we do revision, we will look at that. Okay, now we've done our systems theory, I think, quite laboriously in previous sessions and now in this one. So we're also going to use this session as revision. So what we're going to do now is that I'm going to divide you into the groups. We'll do that just now. And then I'm going to give each group a couple of concepts that I want you to quickly research. And then I want you to come and actually present it to us.